Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first ever Lawyers Lounge, the brand new talk show right here on SOM Live, where me, your general manager, your host, Justin Klein Esquire, is going to help mold your mind, help you form your opinion on what to think about the actions on 505 and the superstars of SOM Live. Now, I hate to start off on a sour note, but I do have some bad news. Our namesake, our founder, Ricky Morton, took a very bad bump last week on All Elite Wrestling. I mean, this tag team FTR dropped him like a bad habit. Mistook him for a human pogo stick. Now, luckily, he wasn't too seriously injured, and he will be back in a few weeks. The good news is, without somebody breathing down my neck, double checking, without the checks and balances, I've got free reign to transform SOM Live into my vision. And that's going to start with getting rid of this wrestling, okay? No more wrestling. It's 2020. This is sports entertainment, and I expect you all to use the term. Second, I want to get rid of many of the longtime fans there in Chuckey, Tennessee. Because I'm all about the image, baby, as you can tell. I'm about marketing. And if you want to make money, you gotta look like money. I want to fill the SOM studios with Instagram models, the hottest women money can buy. I mean, because most of the time, the people there in Chuckey look like they wandered off the set of The Hills Have Eyes. And third, I want champions that are my boys. I want champions I can be proud of, that I can brag to down at the country club. And we're getting there. We'll get to that in a minute. Right now, let's review. Let's see what happened last Sunday on 505.
And at number one contendership for the tag team titles, we have the New Age Villains versus CKY. And as you can see down there at the bottom of your screen, that rotten, no good, I am righteous got involved, distracted Chris Ballo. CKY was in beast mode this whole match. New Age Villains steal it. Their luck continues. I don't understand why they're becoming popular. They got villains in the name. They're not good guys.
Determine who will be the champions, but we do know who the challengers will be.
Look at this guy. He's wearing a dress. And you people want to cheer for them? Come on. Oh, this match was probably my favorite of the night. The X Division Championship between Amp Dominic and newcomer Action Jackson.
Oh, he ducked under the elbow. Watch out! Oh, a hip toss over the top rope to the floor. But again, the title can't change hands on a countout. The chop block.
There's a good little football move for you there. That's all it took.
A man's fist.
As you can see, ever since that chop block, taking out that left knee, Dominic went to work, honed in on that left knee.
Oh, look at that. The knee. It is not solid, but he is strong. That's a strong man. Turned him inside out with that clothesline. Oh,
Now, in the end, Amp Dominic, being the caring person, charitable person that he is, decided it was more important to help Action Jackson with his looks than winning the match. So he gave him a free sample of the Ugly Be Gone. Hopefully it works.
Where Draco? Draco's back. Draco's back out here. Dominic, he's out.
Next, we've got the East Tennessee Tag Team Championship match that I mentioned earlier, where Viva Las Amish got the opportunity to regain the titles that I felt like were stolen from them from the Resistance. Here you see Riley Rocket screwing up, proving again why you never send a woman in to do a man's job.
I think she liked that. I know I did. He's out.
Jeff Butler's out.
Vegas there with the ring awareness, crawls over to make the cover on Alexander Monroe. The referee wakes up from a little cat nap and hits the 1, 2, 3. Viva Los Amish, two-time SOM East Tennessee Tag Team Champions. Now in the main event, you had the Sultan and Brian Rivers versus RT3 and Gilbert Lowe. Let's see how that went. Gilbert Lowe gets launched into space by Brian Rivers, and watch what happens next. Lariat takes the head off of Gilbert Lowe. Referee Brennan in place, and Rivers gets the 1, 2, 3, baby.
One of the hardest things that I've had to do lately is to keep this next segment secret. You don't have to be a lifelong mark to understand the significance of the Rhodes name. You don't have to be a loser who collects replica belts as a grown adult in order to understand the gravitas of the names Dusty Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, and Cody. I'm doing it. Who? My guest this week is the play-by-play announcer for SOM, the lead commentator and the host of 505. Please welcome to the show, Matthew Rhodes. It's okay if I call you Matthew.
Well, if you want to call me Matthew, that's fine. I can't argue with that since that's the name on my driver's license. But you can call me Matthew, you can call me Matt, you can call me Matty, you can call me a dirty son of a... Well, I won't go there.
This is a rhetorical question. So, all right, Matthew, the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about you. How did you land this gig as the host of 505?
In the past 13 years, I've had a great opportunity to call some of the biggest independent wrestling matches, from working the national television program for TCW, from doing WrestleCade AML Wrestling, from being a part of Innovate Wrestling, with Tony Gibbons for many years. Still a part of that organization, and I'm thankful for that. Being a part of other, local wrestling like Southern States Wrestling, run by Bo James. And, I learned a lot from, guys like Tony Gibbons and Bo James very early on in my career, especially the old school part of that, and Tony's one of the smartest guys, in this area that you can go to for pro wrestling, but also, from the old school aspect of things and how the business used to be, back in the territory days. How I landed at SOM 505 Live, it's honestly, I think it's very simple. My work has spoke for itself over the years. I don't brag about, the skill that I have, but one thing I do pride myself in is being passionate and being able to convey to the audience, what they're seeing, is real competition. It's a real sport between, a conflict between, two guys, or four guys, whatever the match may be. And I want my passion to bleed over, onto the screen and onto the audience. And I want them to be able to, hear, my belief in what I'm seeing in the product. And if I can't convey that to them, then I'm not doing my job.
Lost my train of thought. You certainly aren't a short of words. That might be the one critique that I have of you and your performance out there in the broadcast booth, is maybe to shut up a little bit more and let your co-hosts, such as Prince Malik, take the reins. He seems to have a better grasp of what's going on. Hey, how is your neck doing? Where are my manners? I didn't even ask. You got whooped pretty bad right there on live TV. Right there in the studio. Had to be embarrassing. But at least I hope you're doing okay.
Nick is fine, and it will be fine. And I hope that Brian Rivers focuses on what he's got in front of him, most importantly, September the 12th at SOM Overdrive on pay-per-view, exclusively on Facebook. as he faces Axton Ray in a steel cage for the East Tennessee Championship. That's where his eyes need to be, and not on anybody else.
You know, I don't necessarily think it's your job to worry about what Brian Rivers should be focused on. I think Brian Rivers can walk and chew gum at the same time. But since you seem to know a lot, Matthew, why don't you tell me who you think are the standard bearers here in SOM? You having been in the business much longer than me, I would love to get your expertise and see just which superstars that you think best carry the SOM brand.
You gotta throw Draco out there. You know, this young man, you know, he started there and he scratched and clawed his way as far as a light heavyweight performer and one of the best in the area. And he's worked, you know, many different places, and now he's still, you know, at SOM, you know, on top. You know, his former multi-time X Division champion, and he's helping others along the way. You know, that's the one good thing about being, you know, there every Sunday. You're there, you get to see the camaraderie between the students and some of the veterans, and you get to help people, you get to give advice, and you get to see people giving that advice, and that's a wonderful thing about the wrestling business. Draco, for sure. Of course, the SOM champion, RT3, he's been there for quite a while, multi-time champion. But not only that, Roy has worked, you know, other promotions in Virginia, Tennessee, you know, all over the Southeast. You know, he's been there, and he's made a name for himself, but he's still at SOM making a bigger name for himself on a huge platform each and every week. But there's a lot of young and up-and-comers, too, that I have a lot of faith in from being at the school for a couple of months now, and I look forward to seeing the new cream rise to the top, if you will, with the new talent that's there.
Not exactly my taste, Matthew. But hey, it's America, right? You're completely free to be an idiot. Any list that doesn't include right off the bat the real outlaw Brian Rivers, the Sultan, Amp Dominic, and Donald J. Bitdon is garbage. Hot trash. About ready to wrap this up. So let's talk about what's going on next month. SOM Live's first pay-per-view, Overdrive, right there on Facebook. Buy it, watch it, stream it right on Facebook. And it's so cheap. I mean, even people that eat chicken pot pies and bologna sandwiches, they can afford this. So why don't you tell us, Matthew, what you are looking forward to? Try to get a little bit of better answer and kind of be a little snappy, will you?
The thing I'm looking forward to seeing most with SOM Overdrive is how the fans are going to react to it. I think that there's been a huge clamoring for this for quite a while. As you go back to a couple of months ago and you've seen the numbers on the weekly program start increasing each and every week. New records being broke week after week. More eyes are on this product than ever before. And, you know, that's you could chalk that up to many things. Of course, the WWE Hall of Famer Ricky Morton. I mean, that name is synonymous in pro wrestling, so people are going to tune in when they see the name Ricky Morton. But not only that, but the talent as well. The talent keeps stepping it up each and every week and kicking ass on this program, and they are doing a phenomenal job. But what I look forward to seeing most on the pay-per-view, we know some of the things that are going to take place. We already know there's a cage match going to take place. Axton Ray and Brian Rivers, East Tennessee title. I look forward to Axton getting some retribution for the rope going around his neck.
I got to say, Matthew, I think you're being a little too optimistic in your outlook for Axton Ray. I think once Brian Rivers gets Axton Ray in that steel cage, Axton Ray's going to realize real quickly this isn't the cheerleading squad. He's going to wish he was still on the sidelines with a pair of pom-poms watching real men take care of business.
But I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for Axton either. This is Brian Rivers right up his alley. He's not afraid to be locked in a cage. This guy is one tough dude, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bloodshed in this one. Casket match, Draco and Amp Dominic. That's going to be a match that is, is rarely seen in wrestling. It was, of course, made famous by, the legendary Undertaker in the casket match, and it's been done in other places. But Draco is going to that dark side. He's going to a side that he is having to go to thanks to the actions of Amp Dominic, and he thinks that going to this dark side and this demonic place inside his head will help him overcome the lewd acts of Amp Dominic, the spray to the eyes, the cheating, the hooking of the tights to win the title. That's what I look forward to seeing, is hopefully these guys finally getting retribution for some of the dirty tactics that's been done to them over the past couple of months. Not only that, and a lot more we're going to see on this SOM Overdrive pay-per-view. And if you're watching this, you want to check out School of Morton on Facebook. If you have not liked the page, you want to like the page. You want to follow us on YouTube. We have a Twitch stream as well. You want to check us out on any platform they're at, because we want to be able to, get this product to you each and every week. It costs you nothing. It is absolutely free to watch SOM 505 live. But this pay-per-view coming to you is going to be a very unique start for a different concept for SOM, and it's going to be something that's going to be definitely worth the price to pay, and you want to see it September the 12th, Saturday night. Yes, I do appreciate you having me on the program. Good luck with the new venture. Good luck as the general manager. I hope you call things as they should be, and that's unbiased, down the middle, and don't choose sides. Make sure this is a fair deal, okay? Thank you for having me.
So that does it for the first episode of the Lawyer's Lounge. I hope you've enjoyed your journey with whom many consider the world's sexiest sports entertainment attorney, Too Fine Justin Klein, your SOM GM. Stay tuned. A preview of this week's 505